Hey, everybody, and welcome to LinkedIn Bootcamp, our second meeting. I'm Kimber Hill, CEO at VertForce, and we hosted LinkedIn Bootcamp last week, and it was fantastic. So, a huge thank you to Mandy McEwen, who came in and taught a 90-minute LinkedIn course. If you were there in the LinkedIn course, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me open my chat, make sure I can see everybody here who's chatting in. Give me 1 second. Private chat? Not private chat. We want the community chat. There it is. There we go. Hi, Sibrio. Hi, Kristen. It's really good to see everybody. In the chat, let me know your name and let me know where you are watching from. And we also, let me ask Katie. Katie, you can just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Do we have our Facebook group link so people can share their identities? We don't have it. Okay, we'll skip that. So I just want to say this briefly as we get going. We are live streaming to make it easier for everybody to get all of the information at one time. But that does mean that we're live on three places right now. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So you leave your comment on the platform that you are watching on. YouTube is best for this kind of interaction, but it really doesn't matter. My team is watching the comments on each platform and they're making sure that I can see them. The only place where I have issues seeing your comments are if you're on Facebook. So if you're on YouTube and LinkedIn, I can see who you are and I can see your comments. Hi, Sabrio from Tennessee. Hey, Katie.
I'm hopping on for a second. I just put up the caption. It's on Kimber's side. If you go to chat.restream.io/FB, it was in the email that went out this morning too. If you go there, you'll be able to confirm your identity so we can see your Facebook comments.
If you're on Facebook. You only
Yes.
need to do this if you're on Facebook.
Correct.
You can also just switch to LinkedIn or YouTube and watch us there too. Hi. Hi from Eglin. Hi from Augusta. Who had fun in the LinkedIn bootcamp last week? Give me a thumbs up if you did, if you had fun in LinkedIn bootcamp. And then I need to ask all of you who were at LinkedIn bootcamp. Number one, did you get your Starbucks? You should have gotten an email with the $5 Starbucks gift card in it from Starbucks. You can tell me yes or no in the comments so I can verify that you got it, and we'll watch for that. And then my next question for you is, did you sign up for Expert Voice? So this is the QR code to sign up for Expert Voice, and they are keeping the $15 coupon live if you sign up this week. So that means if you go to the Expert Voice platform, which is right here in the palm of my hand, and you create your account and start your validation, you get a free $15 coupon added to your account. Shannon says, I did not. Shannon, you can email our team to get that taken care of. And everybody, here's one of your last opportunities to grab that $15 credit from Expert Voice. You can still do that because you are still participating in LinkedIn Bootcamp. They are being a huge supporter of LinkedIn Bootcamp. So if you sign up for Expert Voice, you can grab that $15 coupon. I will tell you briefly what they are flash sailing this week if you want to know. I can look. I can look on my web portal and tell you. And then we're going to jump right into LinkedIn Bootcamp. Okay, brands on sale this week. Kodiak cakes. That's the one that we're excited about this week. They are, I can't tell you how much percentage off they are, but they're significantly discounted. And this is something that my kids eat on a regular basis for breakfast, the Kodiak cakes, because they're super healthy. And so those are one of the brands that are on flash deal this week. All right, so the next two things I need to remind you about before we get started, and I have 6 profiles we're going to review together today of 6 of you who are ready for review. And I also have 8 questions to answer that have been submitted beforehand. As you are, I see a couple of you have scanned the QR code to go sign up for Expert Voice. As you're doing that in the background, listen to our 2 upcoming events. Let's see here, May 13th. May 13th. So that's in almost exactly 2 weeks, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. We are having another Zoom live stream event, and this one is surrounding teaching you how to use your VA loan benefit. I use my VA loan benefit. We have multiple houses purchased on the VA loan, and we are currently leasing those houses out to renters who are also military connected, and we've probably built over $500,000 in equity in those homes in just the past 5 or 6 years. And so we wanna make sure that you, as a military member who has the opportunity to leverage the VA loan, knows how to use it and why it's beneficial for you, why it's kind of a cheat code to investing in real estate. So we're gonna teach you how to do that on May 13th, and we're actually bringing on a VA loan expert from NewRez who's going to talk to you about it. And I'm going to put the QR code up right here if you'd like to RSVP. Currently, this is Expert Voice, but now that's changing to VA Loan Bootcamp. And of course, we're going to be giving away multiple Stanley tumblers to our attendees and $500 worth of free Starbucks again. So it's a great way to come and get free education and tap into freebies as well. The next event we have coming up, so if you'd like to register for VA Loan Bootcamp, you can QR code this QR code, or you can go to this link and register. The next event we have coming up, if you will please bring the Travelers event on screen now, Katie. Thank you to those of you who are signing up. Our next event is Travelers, and you can QR code. This one is going to be May 20th. May 20th, that's 1 week after VA Loan Bootcamp. We are meeting with the incredible recruitment team at Travelers Insurance. And if you guys have been a part of my community, my military spouse and veteran community long enough, what you know about Travelers is that they have the greatest benefits of all time. We are often calling them the GOAT because their benefits start day one. So we're talking things like PTO, pension, and a lot of other things that you can go back and look at our previous YouTube videos for. We just love them. We love how well they take care of their employers. And we're meeting with them on May 20th for you to learn about what careers are like with their company. You'll actually get to meet other military spouses and veterans who work with Travelers Insurance and hear what their career journeys have been like. Also, we have a really long playlist on our YouTube channel of all of our previous meetings with Travelers Insurance as well. So it might be possible for you to head over to our YouTube, click on playlists. Here's our YouTube. Thanks, Katie. You're very clutch. Here's our YouTube channel. You could head over to our YouTube channel, click on playlists, in another tab, save this for after our boot camp meeting today. But head over to those and you can go through the whole playlist of all of our previous meetings with Travelers just to kind of get a vibe of what our upcoming meeting will look like. I will tell you, we meet with them twice a year. And this is an opportunity that you don't want to miss because it will be months before we do it again. But they've been an incredible employer for our military spouses and veterans that we send their way. So very excited, especially for the military spouse community. This is a great place for you to find a long-term career. All right, let's get going. Kristen, the Travelers is going to be CONUS positions. And Erica, Travelers, they are certainly an equal opportunity employer. Our events that we would do with them are meant to just introduce our community to the employer, but you can certainly search their site for any opportunities, Erica. All right. And thank you for the clarification. They hire in the US plus Alaska and Hawaii. So I'm sorry, I have a habit of indicating that CONUS only, but they do include Alaska and Hawaii. Again, that is May 20th. So certainly you can email in your questions or prep for that meeting on May 20th. We can't wait to see you there. And of course, we'll be giving away about $500 of Starbucks. So just to recap, May 13th, come learn how to use your VA loan. May 20th, come meet Travelers and the hiring team at Travelers to learn what a career looks like there and decide if that's an employer you want to pursue and apply with. Alrighty, let's get going. Okay, so first of all, are we all friends here? Um, I hope that the feedback that I give you today is considered feedback coming from a friend. I am not here to hurt your feelings. I am here to help you. So if we are all friends here and you can accept my feedback with an open mind and an open heart, put a heart in the comments and let me know that you are ready to receive. What we have, the 6 profiles we are set to review are in this order: Tia, Catherine, Brittany, Rebecca, Catherine M, Shima, and Kristen. Okay, so we have 2 Catherines. That's Catherine B and Catherine M. And I do have your previous permission to bring your profiles on screen. So that is what I'm going to do. You guys, I'm not seeing any hearts in the chat yet. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more tender with everybody here. But again, the point here is to help you. So Tia, you are up first. And I'm wondering here if you will give me a moment to make sure that I'm grabbing the correct tab. We're going to start with Tia. All right. So again, this is all based on information that we learned from LinkedIn Bootcamp. And you guys are going to have to bear with me. I get a lot of LinkedIn messages. So bear with me if they are populating. Now, my disadvantage right now is I cannot see our studio. I can only see Tia's page. So I will say to my team, if you need to grab my attention, hit me up in the team chat. Okay, Tia. So first of all, I love your headshot. Let's talk about what's working and what you're doing well. Are you actually in Eglin? Because if you are in Eglin, we're really close. I'm in Pensacola. I love your headshot. I love the color. I think that you've really done a great job selecting a color scheme here. You're a photographer. I want to say the biggest thing that I need to understand about you, Tia, is why are you on LinkedIn? And this goes for Catherine B, Brittany, Rebecca, Catherine M, Shima, and Kristen. I want you to prepare to answer me. Why are you on LinkedIn? And Katie, if Tia answers in the chat, can you please put it in our team chat so I can see it? Tia, you have a few interests, and I think that your interests are working against you right now on your profile. So I know that we are all kind of multifaceted people and there are different things that we are interested in, but we need to declare what is the primary purpose for bringing the profile to LinkedIn and kind of narrow in on what that is and carve out the profile, tailor the profile to support that narrowed purpose. So love the headshot. I love your cover photo. Want to give you 2 recommendations on your cover photo. Whatever you decide that this last little bit of text is going to be, get it out from behind your name here. This name lettering where the T is covering the C and the B is covering money mindset. And make it a little bit more legible. Move it over to the right. And you can do that on Canva. You just probably need to scoot all of this over about 1 square inch to the right or 1 full inch to the right. Then I want to talk about where we are misaligned, Tia. Podcast, money mindset, photography is what's in your cover photo. Then in your, I like to call this your pitch sentence, we have branding photographer, podcaster, military spouse, tax specialist, and lots of other things. Hilarious, awesome person, customer service expert, traveler. It is too much. Let's move down here to your about section. Storyteller, strategist, champion of human connection. So that's your headline for your about section. What I want you to work on over the next week, Tia, is finding a way to make these 3 intersectional points, which is the subheadline in your cover photo, the keywords under your name, and the headline of your about section to say the same thing, maybe with a slight difference. Let me see here. Katie, I'm going to pause here and send you a message because I am still not seeing. Let me hop over here and just check this. Tia here. I use LinkedIn for podcast and networking every time I move. Unfortunately, I was super ill for 5 years and will definitely narrow it down. So Tia, if you have a little bit more clarity, when I look at you, I'm going to tell you what I see. I see you could potentially carve this out to be a podcaster, a podcast host profile, or you could potentially carve this out to be a branding photographer. I think you're already kind of naturally leaning into being a branding photographer. It seems to be the first thing that you're leading with here. And almost the first thing that you're leading with here, storyteller strategist. I think you have a really strong approach to creating a brand. We just need to settle on which one is it. And so what I would encourage you to do is understand who your market is on LinkedIn. Are you reaching podcast guests? Are you trying to reach business owners who want to hire a branding photographer? Or are we trying to capture tax clients? Decide what it is, and let's lead with that on LinkedIn. Okay, so what I am also going to do here is encourage you to get this a little bit shorter. Okay, I want you to pull this in a little bit tighter. I think that you have a really strong mix of personal approach here and business approach. But once you know what you're going to eliminate from your multifaceted interests, we can also pull it out here. Okay. The other thing that I want to say is across every profile we're going to review today, I saw a lot of, and I'm going to come on screen here and say, well, I'm going to look at you while I say this. I saw a lot of AI generated content. So remember that using AI, we want you to be really good at it. We want you to be so good at AI that I can't tell that you're using AI. And so I'm going to expose some tells for you today. Get your notes app out on your phone, get a pen and paper, write these down, take a little note. I see resumes, profiles, cover photos, so many things coming in from candidates every day. I can spot AI from a mile away. So the first one that I notice, and I'm going to point it out while we're on yours, Tia, is this hash mark here. This is the hash or the dash, whatever you want to call it. But when it's used in any situation other than hyphenating compound words like this, so buzzwords, they're my DNA, taxes, soon to be certified tax expert, it's just to tell that AI wrote it. I'll pick out other things on other people's profiles as we move along and teach you more, but just replace it with a comma. And let me see if there was a comparison sentence in there too. Yeah. I can typically find this by looking for the word just. This is also an AI tell. As a proud Army spouse of 17 years and a mom to a daughter serving her country, this is the part that's AI. Resilience and empathy aren't just buzzwords, they're in my DNA. AI does this funny thing of putting these comparison sentences in everywhere. And it's typically formulated exactly in this capacity every single time. It gives you the statement, resilience and empathy aren't just, or fill in the blank, aren't just. And then they throw in a hyphen or a dash. and then they give a comparison statement that's supposed to emphasize that. People don't naturally talk that way. And anytime you ask AI to write something, if you don't tell it not to do that, it'll put it in. And it's a really big tell. So I can probably bet that some of these other profiles we're about to look at are going to have that same comparison statement and the same dash. So I just want to give you that advice because as someone who's sitting in my seat where I know how to spot it, there are other people out there on LinkedIn who know exactly what I'm talking about and know how to spot it. And we just want to make you look as authentic as possible. All right, Tia, do you have questions about that? Or questions about how to better utilize AI so that it doesn't do things like this to you? One of the simple things you can tell it to do is don't put in any comparison statements and don't use the hyphen or any tells that would indicate it was written by AI. Another prompt you can use is please make this as authentic as you can be and embody my personality as Tia. And then finally, I encourage you to read what AI wrote and anything that just doesn't feel like it would come out of your mouth, go back and tweak it. Let's move on to Catherine. Tia, if this advice helped you, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate hearing from you on that. Let's move on to Catherine. Catherine B. So first of all, Catherine, I would really like for you to make clinical mental health counseling student way larger because I can't see it. It's so far away from me. Hang on, let me switch screens. Let me switch screens. Tia says, to be fair, I use the word just too much myself. Let me clarify there, Tia. It's not really about the word just, although you are correct. Just is a word that women use often to minimize our work and our experience. In this circumstance, I simply know that the word just is a trigger to find a comparison statement. Because every single time that AI writes a comparison statement, it uses the word just right in the middle of the sentence. I've seen hundreds of them at this point, and the pattern for AI literally never fails. It will have one end of your thought, the word just, and then the second comparison side of your thought. You guys let me know if I'm getting too deep into spotting AI patterns, but I'll show you more, Tia. There will be more in this call. But yes, you are correct. The word just is not a great word to use in general. However, I'm not picking on your about section because it has the word just in it. I'm simply showing you how to find that AI trigger. Awesome. Thank you. All right, let me switch screens here. I want to switch to Catherine. Catherine Barker. All right, let's go. All right. So I love your profile photo too. It's very natural. It's very you. This section here, clinical mental health counseling student, I almost want you to like 5x the size of this. And then I also think it's probably a good idea for you to drop the word student in your billboard. I call your cover photo your billboard. And we're not going to billboard that we're a student because before you know it, you're going to be finished being a student. And we don't want to waste all of this time that we're spending on LinkedIn building our network, advertising ourselves as a student because you'll be finished before you know it. Catherine, I think you also had sent in a question saying that you were still transitioning from the service. And so since you didn't have a position yet, you felt a little out of place trying to build this profile and get it working and rolling in the right direction for you. And that's okay. We're going to address that for you too. Excuse me. I like your keywords here: veteran transitioning to mental health counseling, Masters of Science, clinical mental health counseling. Replace student with the word candidate. Okay, we want to indicate that you are a candidate for your Master's of Science at this point. The next thing that I want to address for you is that this could be a little bit beefier. I think we are missing a paragraph. And I also would I think that your head is stuck in this space of, I'm still pursuing my degree, so I've got to talk about myself as if I am pursuing my degree. And what I want to encourage you to do is think one step ahead of your degree. And everybody on the call today, try to take your brain one step ahead of where you currently are and market yourself to be one step ahead of where you currently are. It can be a baby step, and that's fine. But throughout your profile, you indicate that you're a student and you're pursuing your degree. So, what I would do instead is say, I am a transitioning service member or veteran, if you're comfortable enough to calling yourself a veteran at this point. Um, Seeking a career as a licensed mental health counselor. Okay. That is the next baby step for you, Catherine. After you are out of the service and you're finished with your degree, you're going to be seeking a career as a mental health counselor. Okay. So that's what I would like for you to do throughout the LinkedIn profile. You can call yourself your Master's of Science candidate and that you are working on your next step. How you can use your current experience here. Let's see here. My military service has provided me with a unique understanding of the mental health challenges faced by both service members and civilians. Take it one step further, Catherine. So what? What do you want to do with that? In my career, I'm going to service what? Are you going to pursue supporting the mental health of service members and veterans? Or perhaps did you have an experience that you want to touch on something differently? For example, maybe you want to be a mental health counselor focused on people who are going through trauma, people who are going through family issues. What is it that you think you're interested in? It's okay if it changes. Like today, you might be interested in subject A, but in 6 months, you might be interested in subject B. Doesn't really matter. All that matters is that what's on your LinkedIn profile currently reflects your objective. You can always come in and modify, adjust, and change. So scrolling right down to your work history. I wanted to talk to you briefly about your question, which was, just a second. Let me find your question. You're finding it challenging to market yourself because you're still active duty and in grad school for health counseling while also searching for a remote role since your husband is going to still be active duty after your transition. So you were not quite sure how to best maximize your profile. To me, the biggest thing that's lacking from your profile right now, the other things we talked about are tweaks, right? Beefing up your about section, kind of pulling the student component out and starting to go ahead and position yourself as a mental health counselor. But the other thing that's lacking is the work experience. So I don't know what a quartermaster first class petty officer does, but anything that you do in that position that you think could remotely relate to being a professional mental health counselor, whether it be being responsible for individuals and their personal well being, whether it be simply being a friend to people, whether it be managing files that are proprietary and have HIPAA information in them. Whatever that is, I want you to work to get 3 to 5 bullets here under the quartermaster component that slightly relates to being a mental health counselor so that when someone comes to look at your profile, they don't just see a healthcare student, but rather they see someone who's positioning themselves appropriately for a transition. Hit me in the comments, Catherine, with questions that you have. I'm happy to answer them. Let's see here. All right, I'm not seeing any questions from Catherine, so we can move on to the next profile. I'm checking to see if Katie's sending one in before I move on. Katie, are you sending one? No, you're not. Thank you. All right, Brittany, you are next. Brittany, give me a thumbs up if you are ready. All right, Brittany, thank you for sending in your beautiful profile. I very much appreciate the opportunity to everyone here who's letting us review these. Catherine says that was super helpful. Yeah, come back next week. We're going to do it again. So if you make changes between now and next week, we're going to do it again, okay? Brittany. So first, Brittany, I want you to update your cover photo. I think you can do better. I think you can do better than this cover photo. It's busy. It's taking away from your great headshot here. Brittany, can you tell me in the chat, what is your goal for being on LinkedIn? Do you want to obtain a new position? I notice you have such a great work history of being adjunct faculty. I noticed that your profile says you are open to work. And I know that adjunct faculty typically means part-time. So perhaps we are looking for something a little bit more robust and stable for your career. If you could tell me what that is, that would be helpful to me. Let me check to see if you've responded yet. Shannon asks, will other profiles be chosen? Shannon, we had everyone submit their profiles. Those people who wanted to be reviewed, we had them submit their profiles so that we could plan to review them ahead of time. But you can submit yours in the WhatsApp, Shannon. Katie can message you on LinkedIn and get you into the WhatsApp if you're not in. All right, Brittany says, I'm on LinkedIn so that I can network more in my field. I want to stay abreast of learning trends, new technologies, and ideas. Ultimately, I do want to obtain a position. What do you want a position in? What do you want a position in, Brittany? Do you want to be a PMP? Because I saw that you're a PMP. Whoop, whoop, me too. PMP club. I think you are. Wait, generative AI overview for project managers. It's a little different, but still similar. You guys, my daughter's daycare is messaging me and make sure she's okay. Oh, yeah, she's good. I get a sweet picture. Okay, so Brittany says, Rebecca, if you don't have access to WhatsApp, you can just email us if you want your profile reviewed. Instructional design and learning development. Thank you, ma'am. That's all I need to know. Okay. So what I would do, Brittany, is I would create a cover photo in the background here that calls yourself an instructional designer or a learning development expert. Okay? Here, empowering others through online learning. I would shift that to be expert instructional designer. So what we want to do is position you as the go-to resource for, let me make sure I'm getting this right, instructional design and learning development, Brittany. Okay. So that's what I want on your cover photo by next week. And I would like this updated here as well. I do not think that you need adjunct faculty in your keywords. I don't think that it's doing anything for you. Former software as a service trainer, I would remove former. What about it is past tense. If you've done it, you can do it again. Academic Advising Pro. Academic Advising Pro. Are you talking about academic advising as you're academically advising students? Or is this more of a consultant level to the college? I'm curious. I'm not sure that that phrase is helping you very much. But let's try to condense this into a instructional design expert. I'm not sure if you need software as a service trainer in there. Let me go to the comments and see if you've added anything here. I don't see anything. I'm not sure that that's helping you. I'd like for you to refine to exactly what you're doing and exactly why you're on LinkedIn. I love that you have military spouse there. We liked your about section. In reading your about section, you're passionate in helping others grow through learning experiences, whether that's guiding students as an academic advisor, facilitating learning in the online classroom, or as an adjunct faculty member. However, now that we know, exactly what you want from LinkedIn, um, which is to work in instructional design, I think that I would really emphasize instructional design and how much of an expert you are in it in that first paragraph. And when you get to later into the paragraphs, you can focus more about things that you're passionate about and your previous work experience that's led you to be a instructional design expert. Does that make sense, Brittany? I also wanted to commend you. You're doing well on collecting your recommendations. So let's fix this top section. You guys, we have a spinning wheel on my screen. Let's fix the top section and then revisit the rest next week. All right. Very good. Happy to hear that. I'm slowing down for just a second and turning off my screen share because we seem to be moving a little slow on my end. I seem to be having a little bit of a tech issue, so I'm going to slow down. We still have Rebecca, Catherine M., Shima, and Kristen to review. Yay. Thank you, Brittany. I'm glad that that makes sense. So work on those 3 things and let me see your profile again next week. But I like the momentum that you have. Okay, my computer's working so hard right now. Let me close Tia, Catherine, Brittany. Let's head to Rebecca. Rebecca, are you on the call? Rebecca Townsend, are you on the call? If you are here, throw something in the chat so we can see you. If you are not here, we will move on to Catherine Martinez. Catherine, are you on the call? Catherine Martinez, Rebecca Townsend, Catherine Martinez, Kristen Taylor, Shima, and we have Shima as well. If any of you are on, throw something in the chat so I can see who to start with next. Hi, Catherine Martinez. We'll do you next. All right. Let's get it, girl. Catherine, first, let's start with why are you on LinkedIn? Oh, and while you're answering that, let's talk about the open to work banner, okay? Our last person had this too, the open to work banner. I don't like it. I'm going to just share my opinion with you personally. If we're trying to position ourselves as an expert, using that open to work banner is something that doesn't support the expert status. So I think there are lots of use cases for turning open to work on, and we can talk about them individually. I'm not telling you to take it off. So I want to be clear. I'm not saying take it off. What I am saying is if you have concerns about using it and you think that it could be hindering you rather than helping you, I'm here to have that conversation. And if you have questions about it, we can talk about it one on one or we can talk about it in a group setting. Okay, cool. So Catherine Martinez is here. I also see Kristen Taylor is here. So we will do Catherine and Kristen, and then we will take general Q&A questions from everybody. All right. So Catherine says, now that I'm back in the States, I want to find a job. What do you want to find a job in, Catherine? Where do you want to work? What do you want to be doing? Let's take a look at your profile. It looks like you're into marketing and communications. It looks like you have experience as guest services, a travel specialist, an office associate. You've been a teacher at Creme de la Creme, and you've worked for the Walt Disney Company. I believe I recall you being a guest services professional with over 7 years of experience in Six Flags, Whole Foods, and the Walt Disney Company. Super impressive. What exactly do you want to be doing now? Marketing, content marketing, social media marketing, brand marketing? Where are you feeling called to work? Any kind of marketing, that's okay too. Food services marketing, experience like amusement park marketing. What are you thinking? What's your heart saying? Do you have like butterflies about anything in particular that would, light you up if you could work in that specific space? Take your time to answer. We're not in a hurry. What I would recommend is once we kind of identify what lights Catherine up, we can build a photo and a stronger keyword statement here that specifically declares the type of work that Catherine is looking to find. Brand or social media marketing. Love that. Thank you, Catherine. Now we know what gives Catherine butterflies. Okay. Let's think about that. Brand or social media marketing, along with your experience of world-class guest services for Six Flags, Whole Foods, and the Walt Disney Company. What are those user experiences? Those are experience-based. Okay. I would call myself an experience marketing specialist, Catherine. And in the cover photo here, I would declare that you are an experienced marketing specialist. And I don't know, I might go as far, if I were you, I might go as far as putting like the logos of the companies that I've worked for, like Disney, Whole Foods, and Six Flags on my cover photo, just to show that you have, brand experience with those entities. No one's going to tell you not to do that. You're not going to get flagged down by those companies. And if they do, who cares? Take it down. But I think that could really be a strong brand approach for you. Again, if you have questions about using the open to work banner, I think that occasionally it's worth it to take it off because it positions you as a little bit stronger in the market as an expert. Marketing and communications professional, I would call myself an experienced marketing specialist. Expert in, hang on a second, I have to cough. Let me try to mute my mic here. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Okay. So I would go as far as calling myself an experienced marketing specialist with expertise in social media and representing Fortune top 500 brands. Or I'm not sure if those companies you've worked for have been on the Fortune top 500 list, but I would find a way to categorize those brands that you've worked for because they're pretty big brands. Does that make sense? Experienced marketing specialist, expert in social media with blank amount of brands or blank type of brands. I added the banner because it prompted when I clicked the looking for a job tab. Yeah, I think LinkedIn pushes these banners pretty hard, even if you're hiring. They want you to add it if you're hiring as well. And I think the difference here is when a recruiter comes to LinkedIn to search for people, they don't go into LinkedIn and select a filter that says people who are open to work. That doesn't really matter to them. They're looking for the expert. They don't care if you have a job or not. They will straight try to poach you from your current job if you look like you're the right fit. Further, if you say that you're open to work, it definitely gives the connotation that you're unemployed and that you don't have any income coming in. Um, so I think it also kind of makes those, if you're trying to specialize and you're trying to harness your personal brand online, your personal brand is also not open to work, if that makes sense. Like Catherine Martinez is not known for being open to work. So I think that the banners can be super useful in some contexts. But if we're focusing on LinkedIn specifically to build a personal brand and to attract people to the profile, I think that the green open to work banner can actually conflict a little bit with your personal brand. But I do know a lot of people, especially right now with the mass layoffs, who are saying that the open to work banner is helping them because it's been helpful to help them declare that they have lost their work opportunity and they've lost their income. And so they're actively looking for a new employer. It's a little bit different than working on strategizing, having a known presence and a known profile. Does that make sense? I hope that that's helpful for you. So if you have questions about it or you think that it's going to detract from your brand, feel free to take it off. And so Catherine, so far I've talked to you about finding a way to niche yourself into a, experience marketing specialist and niching your keywords here into experience marketing specialist and building a really strong cover letter. I think those are three strong actions you can take in the next week. And then let's come back and revisit your profile after that. Are you feeling confident, Catherine? Yes. Okay. All right, awesome. I'm glad you're feeling confident. If you have more questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Kristen Taylor. Kristen, one second, hon. There you are. All right, Kristen, nice to see you. Nice to see your profile here. Of course, I've taken a look at this before we hopped on today. So, a couple of things. Our cover photos. I would like to see a much closer up profile photo. I think from the shoulders up is appropriate. You're so far away here. And we're kind of getting a full body, almost modeling shot. And we really just want to see the character in your face and, the light in your eyes is really what we're looking for here. Let me look at that a little bit closer too. Um, I'm wondering if this one's AI. I'm wondering if this is an AI profile photo. You can let me know in the chat if it is. Sometimes using AI can be nice, but also other times it can make you feel um, a little less authentic. So I would love to see if you have a different option for that one too. The cover photo, I love the artwork. And I know that, one of the things you said in your about section is that you're passionate about history. So I'm sure that this is representative of your personality, but this is your billboard. So we want your billboard here to sell you. And I would strongly recommend carving out the time on Canva to build a billboard for yourself that declares what you are. I actually think that your first three words here are so strong. Crisis communication specialist. After that, I start to get a little bit lost on what you want to do. I love that you have active duty military spouse here. The positioning for active duty military spouse, I'm not sure that it needs to come right after crisis communication specialist. If you could tell me in the chat, Kristen, what it is you want to achieve out of having a LinkedIn profile. Are you looking for work? Are you simply looking to brand yourself? What is our goal on your LinkedIn? That would be very helpful for me as we move forward. I'm going to go check the comments. It is AI. I have a scheduled session for a headshot with a friend of mine in a couple of weeks. That's awesome, Kristen. I hope your headshot goes well. AI will be fine in the meantime. If you, I'm so sorry. If you can reload it, I have made changes. Okay. Okay. Very nice. I like the closer approach here on the photo. Crisis communication specialist, active duty military spouse, experience in crisis management and technology integration. BS of human services candidate, aspiring crisis and trauma counselor. Oh, girl, I'm so glad you did this. You are paying attention. You're paying attention, but I'm going to give you some critiquing, okay? Bachelor's of Science of Human Services candidate does not need to be here. It needs to be in your education. Right down here, Bachelor of Science, Human Services, General. Leave it there. It doesn't matter here. Aspiring. Y'all, when you really, really start to dig into this, and as you're doing career pivots and you're building your career, you will see yourself, you will feel yourself wanting to use the word aspiring. Don't do it. Don't do it. Take it off. I'm going to tell you what to put in its place, okay? Hang on one second. Let me go find out. Bear with me, you guys. I'm going to look up something. Okay. Crisis and trauma. So we say right now, aspiring crisis and trauma counselor. I would just remove aspiring and counselor, crisis and trauma specialist. So we're not saying expert because we're not at the level of expert authority yet. So we're using the word specialist to indicate, specialist is an indicator that you are still learning, but you have a high specialized aptitude and intelligence for crisis and trauma. I know that counseling licenses can take a while to acquire, but where possible under education and licenses, I would indicate those for which I am to be a candidate for. Does that make sense, Kristen? Let me come over here to the comments. I'll change it. Thank you for the advice. You're so welcome. All right, I'm going to refresh. I love that you're updating on the fly. Ooh, yes, girl. Crisis communication specialist, crisis and trauma specialist. We do say specialist twice, so I might be a little too redundant. I'm going to use AI on the side over here. And let me see if I can get a quick lack of redundancy here. Okay, let's do this. Crisis communications and trauma specialist. Crisis communications and trauma specialist. Experienced in crisis management and technology integration. Then active duty military spouse. Okay. Let me refresh. All right. She says it's updated. Let's look again. Is there anybody else on the call who wants a review of their LinkedIn before we end today? If so, put it in the chat. It's not updating for me, Kristen. So I'm going to put in the chat here. Yeah. I want to say too that David made a really good comment while we're multitasking. I'm multitasking. David made a really good comment. David, we appreciate you and your comments. The open to work banner can be hindering because, oh, hang on. Not that one. I disagree on the active duty spouse component, but I do want to bring this one on. I do feel the open to work banner can help in some ways with recruiters finding you, but I've found that the staffing companies try to lowball you on the hourly rate. And he's right. Because when we talk about open to work, indicating that you don't have a job, it means that employers feel confident coming in with their lowest offer for you. Maybe that lowest offer is good enough for you. But if we want to position ourselves in a seat of authority and a seat of being an expert or specializing in something, we don't want to attract the low ball. So, David, you have a very valid point. Thanks for bringing that up. Let's see. I am going to, Dion, drop your profile in the comments. Starling says she wants hers looked at. I'm going to look at Kristen's one more time to see if she updated this yet. Crisis communications and trauma specialist, experience in crisis management and technology integration. Is there another? You don't need that last pipe at the end of active duty military spouse. I'm sorry, I'm coughing so hard now. I would replace this second word crisis because we don't need crisis in the keyword headline twice. Crisis communications and trauma specialist, experienced in, here are a few options for you: emergency management or critical incident management or risk management and technology integration. Active duty military spouse. Just so you're making the most of this keyword section, Kristen. And okay, so your homework, Kristen, get a more authentically you picture in there. This one's good for now. I know you've got an appointment set up. And let's work on building a cover photo that actually matches what you're trying to attract and declares you as a crisis communications and trauma specialist. You might add the phrase mental health along in this headline and cover photo along the way, because I know that it seems like mental health is your approach. Now, I do want to talk about your about section. I read it thoroughly, and you have, we need to find the unique balance between professional and personal. Right now, you are heavily weighted on the personal side. So I want you to focus a little bit more on your past experience. And I want you in that first, I want you in this first paragraph to tell me what makes you a crisis communications and trauma specialist and what you do with those skills. Then you can talk a little bit more about the personal side of things. Okay. So there's your feedback. I'm going to move on to the next person. Okay, I believe Jolyn Sal. I have a little bit of a cold. It's starting to act up, so I'm going to go as long as I can here, guys, but I may not get through everybody, okay? And Jolene. I'm sorry, I said Jolyn. That was silly of me. I should have known that was Jolene. Let me also advise all of you who have not updated your URL, Jolene has updated her URL to be Jolene Sal. So let's make sure that all of you are updating your URLs. Make them super professional, as professional as you can, okay? All right, back to Jolene. I've not looked at yours yet, Jolene, so this is fresh eyes. Lead Human Resource Specialist, Industrial Organizational Psychology, Master, Talent and Growth Development, Organizational Behavioral Strategist. Okay, what do you want to be known for? What's the number one thing you want to be known for? I don't think it's we rise by lifting others. So what I'd like for you to do is take this cover photo, go to Canva, declare the number one thing you want to be known for, call yourself the expert or the specialist if you don't feel qualified enough to say expert, and put it on your cover photo. Cute hot air balloons, though. We have a hot air balloon festival this weekend. I'm very excited to go to it. All right. We are going to take a look at your about section. My education has equipped me with a deep understanding of human behavior and workplace dynamics. My previous role as a pilot crew schedule for a large company honed my skills in managing schedules, coordinating different departments. Recruitment, employee relations, training and development, and ensuring compliance with labor laws. Let me see if you answered me here. You want to be known as an organizational development specialist. So I want you to start your about section with the fact that you are an organizational development specialist and what makes you an organizational development specialist. Just like you're going to do in the cover photo here. And I want you to lead your headline with it as well. So those are 3 things that you can accomplish quickly. Okay. Oh, it looks, are you interning with Super Purposes? I used to draw interns to them a while back. They're a pretty cool company. Lead Human Resources Specialist, Human Resource Specialist. Nice. It's good to see that you're already working on that experience. Oh, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so great. Okay. And then coming down to our recommendations, you've already got 2 recommendations. So you are on your way. Let's work on those 3 things. Work on those 3 things, and then let's connect again next week. Does that sound good? Let's move on to the next one. Darlene Palman. Just one moment. Okay, Darlene, you are the first person that I've seen today, other than Tia, with your name on your cover photo and a really strong start to that cover photo. Can we make analyst, cloud, DevOps, finance a little bit larger? And also, I would almost encourage you to orient them to the right side of the photo. Maybe not. I'm just having a hard time seeing them with the cityscape in the background. And I love that you tied in this picture to have kind of like a little techie ring around it. How cute and creative are you? Great job. Oh, hang on. Let me switch screens. Okay. So I was saying that your cover photo and your headshot are cute. So good job on working with those. AWS Cloud Consultant. Why is this putting quotes up here? I don't know. That's not standard, right? No. Take those quotes off. darling. This is good. One second. All right. I'm sad to say I think this is going to have to be my last one because I'm not feeling that great. But what I will add here is that sometimes with our technical positions, we don't need as much of the leading expert phrases and clauses that we've used with some of the other more intellectual, mental health, emotional based roles. When we're working with tech and IT, it is often strong enough of a statement to say that you are an AWS cloud consultant, followed by the following types of specialties that you have in IT. So you're doing well here. The one thing that I would suggest adding is if you're like an Army veteran or a Navy veteran, include that here where it says veteran. I would include which branch before that. Sometimes it just helps if someone is also from your branch, they may be more attracted to your profile than others. Okay. Excuse me. So, as an AWS cloud consultant and AWS support engineer with hands on experience in cloud infrastructure, I specialize in providing technical support, troubleshooting, and optimizing AWS environments. This is great. Great, great, great. Good. Good. I think the only thing that we're really missing is what industries you support if you have a specialization. Okay. So, cloud infrastructure, healthcare, cloud infrastructure in data centers. Do you have a specialization? That's my first question, darling. Other than AWS cloud consultant, have you been able to refine into a specific industry yet? Let me check the chat and see if you answered. You were Marines and Army? Yeah. Put Marine and Army veteran on there. That's what I would do. Tell me, darling, have you found a specific industry niche? Finance. Ooh, that's a good one. If you are finance, put it all over your profile. Okay. AWS cloud consultant in fintech. I'd put it up here for sure. And then I would declare in my first paragraph, not just that I'm an AWS cloud consultant, because I know that can be tempting because everybody's looking for AWS cloud consultants, right? Like everybody wants that. But you make yourself even more desirable and you brand yourself even further if you can say specifically, I'm a finance-based AWS consultant. Then all the fintech people and finance people who need AWS people are going to be like, oh, we got to hire darling. She's the expert in finance cloud. Does that make sense? Do it, darling. Do it, darling. Okay, your posts. I have not really evaluated anyone's posts today because we haven't really mastered those first three components in the about section. So I invite any of you who are listening today and who have participated in the education today to get those first really four things: the cover letter, the headline statement, the about section, and your profile photo. Getting those four things correct, then we can move on to the rest of the profile and we can start evaluating postings. So next week when we meet again, I would really like to dig deeper into your posts and dig deeper into the other things that you're doing on your profile. Nice. That's amazing. You really need to be leveraging that, darling. You certainly need to be leveraging that. Let's see here. One of the things that I think is if you want to be known as the finance AWS cloud consultant, you might want to redact your creative producer component or make it less prominent. Let me think about that as a visual artist and digital artist. Brands develop their visual and digital identities. Am I on the right profile? Yeah, I am. Huh. Yeah. I might take that off, and I'll tell you why. It's not that it's invaluable, it's not that it's not valuable, it's that it confuses me. So, as a recruiter looking at your profile and understanding AWS, you can see when I got to that section, I actually asked myself, "Am I on the right profile?" Um, I understand that people are multifaceted and we have different things that we're interested in. But if you're declaring that I want this specific LinkedIn profile to be about my career in AWS and attracting more cloud services clients, I think that it's valuable for you to keep the content focused around that. Uh, Probably more so than I'm assuming you're probably using this profile more so for AWS attraction than client branding attraction. And, it's totally fine for you to open other funnels for client branding attraction, but for LinkedIn and what we're trying to do here, that's my advice. Okay, I do have to wrap up because I'm losing my voice. So I very much look forward to doing this again with everyone next week. This has been a great time. Um, Katie, can you please close out for me because I'm having a hard time talking. Are you able to? Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right, I am here. I'm here. So I've been saving as you guys sent your profiles in. I've been saving those for next week. So there's, I think, about like 2 or 3 of you we didn't get to today. We will make sure we get to those next week. So take the information we talked about today. We are going to have the replay from our event with Mandy McEwen. It should be out sometime before next Tuesday. So we will make sure that we have that up on our YouTube. And if you guys watch that, if you haven't yet, if you weren't there, also I plan on rewatching it honestly, because it was a lot of information and all very helpful. So rewatch that, take what you learned today, update those profiles, and join the WhatsApp group. That's up over there. You can scan that. You can also message me on LinkedIn and I will help you get that. And let me know if you want us to review your profiles and what you need help on. If you have questions, you can also send those in the WhatsApp group. We're all connecting in there, sharing tips and advice as we update our profiles. We're sharing information. I worked on my headline because I realized it had been outdated for about 2 years. So I was sharing my updates to my about section and to my headline, and the community in there was helping. So that was fun. So make sure you're joined. And I think that's everything. Little bit of surprise, me hopping on here to talk. So hopefully that made sense. Review your profiles, make those edits, start posting, start connecting with people. Those are really important. And we will circle back at this time next week on Tuesday, same locations in our Facebook group, the Kimber's LinkedIn, and on the YouTube. And we'll review some profiles and answer questions and things like that. So if you guys need anything, you can comment on the LinkedIn or hit us up in the WhatsApp group and we will be there to help you. All right, everybody, you have a wonderful day and we will see you at 12 noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time on May 6th, which is next Tuesday. Same time, same place, and we'll do this again. All right, bye.